Eagle, proud symbol of our country, keep on flying high up above, and together we will stand and we'll restore the land. Oh, Eagle, keep on flying, Eagle.
Welcome in to Listen to the Eagle. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Happy Labor Day to everybody out there. This is Bert Caruth coming to you live from the Reed's Metal Studio. Got Paul Ott, the legend, by phone in the Scenic Rivers region down on beautiful Lake Dixie Springs. What do you say, Paul Ott?
Deja vu, deja vu. Does your listeners know what deja vu means? I bet you Robert Daley does.
Deja vu. Paul Ott thinks, he says the show, we have the same guest, Robert Daley, every Monday night with the same tone. As he says, it's deja vu.
well, Robert is bound to have shot a deer and sat there and thought, you know, I did this just like this before. I'm trying to think what's going on here.
I'm looking forward to shooting one. I tell you what, it's not far away, is it?
It's right here, Robert. It really is. Bert, I'm looking forward to Buddy Money and the Lyme thing. It's a very growing concern down here.
Yeah, I do. I want to share with our listeners. So the very next segment, you don't want to go anywhere. We've got an interview that I did not too long ago with my good friend Buddy Money, who does have a case of Lyme disease that he is battling. And the interview is going to be very educational. Buddy's going to share some things that happened to make his case worse. I actually have another friend here in the state of Mississippi. Same thing happened. She actually had to fly out to California to get treatment. And the deal with Lyme disease, Paul Ott, and I do want to make everybody aware to maybe even Google and start studying this a little bit. The problem is the symptoms are so similar to other illnesses or diseases that the doctors treat the known diseases instead of the Lyme disease, when really if they would catch the Lyme disease in its early stages, it's very treatable. But what happens is they don't know to look for it, so they treat other things, and then by that time, the Lyme disease has gotten into full-blown effect, and then it's a really, really hard disease to beat, and it is a hard disease to treat. I do know there's a lot of studies that have gone on, and a lot of treatments are getting better, but Lyme disease is real. Buddy, it'll be a great interview, very educational, and I look forward to you listening to the interview, and we can all learn a little bit more about Lyme disease and how to prevent it, and also how to look for it and all the symptoms that it shows.
Does that come from a tick on a deer, Robert?
I believe it does, doesn't
it?
It is from ticks, Paul Ott, but there's also, I think there's some other ways that you can catch that. And it's, again, we've got to interview with Buddy, and again, Buddy had done a lot of research because he was battling it, so it'll be very educational.
Now, is it a particular type of tick, or any tick can carry Lyme disease?
I believe it's a particular type, but I think it's very, the volume of those type of ticks are huge in the Southeast.
I don't like any of them.
I don't either.
They seem to like me. It's not mutual, though.
Well, and any of us that are in the outdoors, and like Robert, you and I talked about, it's the time of year where we're out at our camps and walking the woods and getting ready for the big season right around the corner. And it's hot like this. I mean, the ticks are out, so you got to take precaution.
And I don't know how they get on me as easy as they do.
Yeah,
I can just walk across an area, and in a few minutes, I feel something on my neck reach up and
there it is.
And I'm thinking, how did that thing get there?
Yeah. And I look up, and Paul Ott, they'll be in your house, and you don't even know it. You know.
Well, I know it. I know, Robert, but I'm glad somebody likes you, Robert.
Well, somebody does.
Well,
yeah,
look,
I'm a popular guy in the insect world.
Dove season opened up this past weekend here in the state
did.
of Mississippi.
It
So wanna invite each of you, if you're out there riding around and you've got a great opening weekend dove story, or you had a big hunt and had a bunch of youth that had a big time, please call in, even send us pictures. You want to be a part of the show. Tonight's your night. 1-800-251-5891. That's 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you C-Spire. Customer inspired like we are. Robert Daley in the house, Paul Ott in the Scenic Rivers region down on beautiful Lake Dixie Springs, and I am right here in the Reed's Metal Studio. Go to reedsmetal.com for all your metal roofing needs or your metal building needs. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more of Listen to the Eagle.
Paul Ott's The Day of the Lord CD-DVD combo set is our free gift to you and your family. The Day of the Lord includes songs like I Am That I Am, Don't Cry for Me, and They Could Not Stop His Love, as well as special sermons by Tom Lester, Dr. Larry LeBlanc, and others. Paul's special holy visits and the printed Don't Cry for Me poster are also included. Get yours by calling 1-800-684-9486 or by letter to New Day of the Lord Ministries Foundation, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back. Listen to the Eagle. Bert Carruth, live from the Reeds Metal Studio. Want to welcome Buddy Money, my good friend, to Listen to the Eagle.
Bert, it is a thrill being in this chair. I sat in a chair similar to this, I guess 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I hate the circumstances by which I'm sitting here tonight. However, it is certainly, I hope the next 55 minutes are going to be a lot of fun, educational, and at the same time, if I'm entertaining Bert, I mean,
Buddy,
I'm throwing it out there.
You can't help but be entertaining. I've known you for too long.
I'm glad you're saying that because I have certainly withdrawn to another part of this world in the past several years.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm here. So
Well,
let's
look.
take the next 55 minutes. Let's go back in time.
Yeah.
And let's just play and have fun.
Well, look, I love that you're here on several reasons. Number one, because I hadn't seen you in a while, and I love you, and I've missed you. Second, I dare say that I would think 80 to 90% of our listeners are just like me when it comes to Lyme disease, okay? I know it exists, and I know that it comes from a tick. But up until you shared your story with me a couple of months ago, I don't know that I've ever personally known anybody with Lyme disease, or I probably did and was not aware of it. Now, what I would like to do is for our listeners, if you don't mind, take us through and share your story, because here's what I'm learning. After talking to you and wanting to do this show and to educate our listeners and the people across the state, this is something that is devastating if it's not detected. But if it is detected, it can be treated in about 3 to 4 weeks and you're fine. But if it's not, it can really turn your life upside down, a.k.a. I'm looking at someone that has done that too.
I'm upside down. You can't tell. I'm on my head every day.
Yeah,
I'm
not funny, but share with us. So you go float the river and?
Bert, 2012, Memorial Day weekend. I'm with two wonderful people, and we're floating, I guess we would call it Shades Creek.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that day and that week leading up, there wasn't a lot of water, so canoeing, when you don't have
did
a lot
some
of
walking.
water, I did a lot of walking.
Yeah.
And I was with two people that had never really canoed before.
Yeah.
Wonderful people. But
it wasn't quite like canoeing the Bogachilla like we used to do.
No, sir. We were pulling canoes. We were
Yeah.
we were not floating canoes.
Okay.
By the time we got out of the water, I was infested with ticks.
Okay.
And I can't tell you how many times in my life I've had ticks
Yeah,
on me. It didn't
I've
mean
had 'em.
anything
I
to
grew
me.
up in Southwest Mississippi with ticks everywhere.
I mean, all right now I'm itching. I feel like I've
Yeah.
got one on me just talking about
Right.
it. But, so I get out and take them off and
Yeah.
get in the shower that evening and wake up the next morning and I have a tick on me.
Yeah.
And I have known that if you have a tick implanted deeply, has bitten you, and, like we hear the old saying, full of the tick behind a hound dog's ear.
Right.
That's how it was on my rear end. So I'm
Okay.
just going to put it out there. It was full. It was big.
Misconception. Let me interrupt. I always heard you don't need to be concerned about ticks, and the only way you're in trouble is if they get in your hair. Misconception?
Wrong.
Eh.
Yeah, I mean, it's big time wrong.
Okay.
Tick was planted in me, and quite frankly, it wasn't full. It was deep within me.
Okay.
And I had a bullseye tattoo, for lack of a better term.
Because of this bite.
Because of this bite. Just imagine a small bullseye, let's say 2 or 3 inches in diameter, and the very center of it is another dark area with the tick embedded. And I made a big mistake, and this is what I told you just a moment ago. I knew better. I knew better than to pull this tick out, because
Should have gone to the doctor.
should have gone to the doctor, or find the type of attention where you should have gone to the doctor.
Okay.
I'm going to
That's
say
it.
it for the record.
Yeah,
go to the doctor. Bottom line, have this tick removed. I did not, pulled it out,
Time marches on.
Time marches on. Let's say a month and a half later, I'm
But
bedridden.
But at the time, for the next couple of weeks, you don't think about it.
No, well, I couldn't think, Bert. You never. In fact, the tick bite, it came months down the road, and so I go through that summer, seeing doctor after doctor,
Trying to diagnose what's
trying to run my business, trying to be a father, trying to be a fiance, trying to be a good man,
Yeah.
and everything around me inside my body is failing. I'm talking about my muscles, my bones, my joints, my connective tissue. Connective tissue is your bone, your teeth, your hair, your skin. I mean, everything about me just literally
And
turned upside down.
you're going to a doctor appointment after doctor appointment?
Bert, I will tell you this. I have never been a good patient,
Yeah.
but I was doing the best I could. And we tested, sure, and yes, I tested positive here, may have tested negative here. But again, due to the geographical aspects of Lyme's disease, or when I say geographical aspects, Lyme's disease has traditionally been a northern infectious disease.
Mm-hmm.
It is just as dominant in the south as it is in the north.
It's
today.
here.
Let me tell you something. It's here, and the little ninjas are out there waiting to get you.
Them little tick ninjas.
Tick ninjas and the hunters and fishers of Alabama.
We need to know.
They need to know. Their stories, in fact, on Netflix. And I'm going to tell you, for those people that really, really have an interest, I just want to give you a little bit of statistics.
Sure.
Netflix has a video called Under Our Skin, and it details the story of a young woman, and I believe, if I'm correct, it details her life for 9 years as she suffered from Lyme's. It's horrible, Bert, to watch this woman go through what she did go through. She lost everything. Her children, she lost her husband, she lost her life. She had a checkbook of tears. But also, let me tell you some famous people who've lived with Lyme's that still either suffer or challenge with it every single day. The President of the United States, George W. Bush, let's call him Junior.
W. He's got Lyme?
He suffered with Lyme's, but he was what I'll say one of the acute phase Lyme's patients, where doctors caught it quick, and simple antibiotics took it, healed him just like that. And
Wow.
I say healed him. I use that for lack of a better term. Richard Gere, Ben Stiller, the singer Avril Lavigne. I've
Yeah.
always said that
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
wrong. Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates. You know,
Yeah.
that's back in our time.
Oh,
back
yeah.
in high school. Great,
Yeah.
great musicians. There's a lot of famous people out there with Lyme's disease. And there's people out there that have suffered, that got into a phase like what I say that I've gotten into, which is called a chronic phase.
Okay.
And that literally, Lyme's disease is a bacterial infection. And
That comes from a tick
it
in
comes
our
from a tick
outdoors.
that's in our outdoors. It is in the shape of a ninja. And that little tick is running around.
Yeah.
But the tick, it's, they refer to it as a deer tick. And you'll find pictures of it, of course, on Google. And it literally can impact, and let's just say we've used the word upside down. It'll turn physiological parts of your body, your nervous system, your joints and bones. It will impact all of these systems to a point where your normal day-to-day life has gone from walking around
Yeah.
to where you're riding around in a wheelchair.
Well, let me just be blunt and honest. You showed up here. I met you in front of the studio, and we have to walk up about 15 to 20 stairs to get to the studio, and I heard you just kind of go,
I can't. Bert, I've had experiences just in the past 3 years. They're horrible experiences.
and
Falling downstairs, and I was in my house for 3 days before my dad found me with the fire department.
right.
I mean, that's,
And we're
these
talking
are
about a
true
guy
stories.
5 years ago that me and you were running around, and you couldn't beat me, but we would race in the 40 all the time.
That's right. and when I say literally fell down the steps and was just trapped because I couldn't move. But the symptoms, I'd love to sit here and go through the symptoms.
Yeah,
but
let's
there's
talk about
pages,
them.
But there's pages.
But
of them.
let's just talk about some that people need to be aware of.
Rash,
Okay.
that bullseye, headaches, flu-like symptoms. If you know you've been in the outdoors,
And you start.
let's first do the basic things. Off makes tick repellent.
Okay. Yeah.
Do let's do today when you know that little ninja's out there. take some common sense steps to protect
Keep him
yourself. And
away.
we're not talking about just hunters and fishers, gardeners.
Yeah.
Anybody
Boaters
that's out
on the
boaters,
lake.
outdoorsmen. I mean, just anybody that finds themselves outdoors, protect yourselves. Protect your kids. Mothers, if you know you love your children, protect your children, because this also impacts children just like it would adults.
Oh, yeah. I want to thank Buddy Money for sharing that with us. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Robert Daley, Bert Caruth, and Paul Ott taking your phone calls. More of Listening to the Eagle.
Legendary entertainer Paul Ott brings you his greatest hits. Get them all in this special CD-DVD combo set, including Old Blue,
Many and a many of an early morn.
I Am Mississippi,
I am everything good you have ever dreamed about.
Right Arm of America, and many more. To order, visit listentotheeagle.com or send $20 check or money order to Paul Ott's Greatest Hits, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome in. Listen to the Eagle. Your live call-in radio show, hunting, fishing, God, family, and country, and anything Paul Ott wants to talk about. Bert Caruth live in the Reeds Metal Studio alongside Paul Ott down in Scenic Rivers region at beautiful Lake Dixie Springs. And our wonderful sidekick in studio tonight, the man, Robert Daley. Thank you for being here, Robert.
Good to see you, Bert.
You know, that was an interesting interview we did with Buddy Money. That was a while back, and Buddy's still battling this. And I shared with you off the air that I've got another dear friend here in Mississippi that's battling the Lyme disease from doing the same thing, out hiking. She actually had to fly out to California for over a month to get treatment. It's very serious, and just felt like I should put that out there and show you that interview and let you hear that interview, that even if you didn't get all the information that you needed out of the Buddy Money interview, at least you'll maybe research it and Google it and take some precautions to be careful as we all get ready, because we all know what's right around the corner. It's here.
And we're going to be in the woods.
Going to be out up in the woods.
It's going to be me and the ticks and the spiders and everything else. They're going to be there. So, and you got to take precautions. You got to. I carry insect repellent. Mosquitoes are bad where I hunt down there by that river. So I like something with a lot of DEET in it.
Well, now that you heard that, will you take some tick repellent?
Man,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure it's out there.
Yes.
that
In
you
fact,
can
I
buy.
have some.
Do you?
Excuse me. I have some off tick repellent.
Okay.
And I believe in it, because man, I hate getting those things on me.
Well, yeah, you hate them on you, but now that, man.
And
that puts
after
a
hearing
whole
that,
yeah,
that's scary.
Yeah, that's real scary, and it's serious.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one question. So when you feel these symptoms coming on, he said flu-like symptoms.
He did.
So would you have to specifically ask your doctor, say, do you
Yes.
mind running a Lyme disease test on me?
Yes, and we did not play that. That was actually about an hour interview, and yes, as we went on, Buddy said finally to request, and I believe it's a blood test,
Okay.
to say, hey, I know you think I got the flu. I just want you to know I've been in the outdoors. I've been out in the woods. I've been on the river. I've been on a hiking trail. I want you to test me for Lyme disease.
Yeah.
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 You
Okay.
can do that by request.
That's what I would do.
You have any information about Lyme disease, maybe a story, or if you want to talk about this past weekend, big opening day, dove hunt, deer hunting's right around the corner. This is your show. Be a part of it. Statewide, 1-800-251-5891. That's 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you C-Spire. Customer inspired like we are. Let's go to the phone line. Let's go to Frank in Brandon. Frank, thank you for being a part of Listen to the Eagle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know if it's appropriate night because the guest, you talking about hunting and all that. But I was wondering why the Ross Barnett Reservoir doesn't have the hybrid bass like your River Lakes, Eagle Lake, and Showtod, and Albemarle.
Unless Robert can speak to that, and I'll open it up. But if not, we actually 2 weeks ago had a fishery guy on from the Department of Wildlife, and I'll tell you, Frank, if you'll stay tuned next Monday night, I'll get you an answer. We'll actually have him on and would like for you to call back in, and I'll get you an answer on that.
Well, I have to travel and go over there and catch them. They're real good to eat if you know how to clean them, and fun to catch. And I'm just wondering why they never were, or why they can't be introduced to Barnett.
Well,
Good question.
Where now? But you mentioned a couple of lakes that you can. Where do you go? Where do you go catch these?
Eagle Lake and Chotod and Albemarle, and ditches when the river floods, all along the river.
I got a question for you. How do these other places get the hybrid bass? Do they request that from the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks to come and stock the lake with them? How do they go about that?
I'm sure they've been scattered from the floods and all we've had. There ain't nothing to catch. They call them white bass.
Well, I wonder why the reservoir doesn't have them. That's a good question.
I don't know.
Well,
I was a kid and I caught the first one in the spillway, the sea run that sea run hybrid. And I was a kid. I think I was 11, 12 years old. Caught the first one in the spillway. It was 12 inches long. But they were raised up there on 43 Highway at the hatchery, and released in the lake. But then you have the hybrid white bass, and I was just wondering why I couldn't make it in the reservoir.
Well, I tell you what we'll do. Hopefully somebody will call in. Keep listening tonight. Somebody may have an answer, but if we don't get it answered tonight, I will have you an answer next Monday night. Thank you, Frank.
All right.
Appreciate it so much.
Enjoy your show.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Y'all don't go anywhere. We got more of Listen to the Eagle.
Paul Ott's The Day of the Lord CD DVD combo set is our free gift to you and your family. The Day of the Lord includes songs like I Am That I Am, Don't Cry for Me, and They Could Not Stop His Love, as well as special sermons by Tom Lester, Dr. Larry LeBlanc, and others. Paul's special holy visits and the printed Don't Cry for Me poster are also included. Get yours by calling 1-800-684-9486 or by letter to New Day of the Lord Ministries Foundation, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome in to Listen to the Eagle. Thank you for making us a part of your day, no matter how you're listening to the show, whether it's on the radio or whether you've gone to your C Spire smartphone and downloaded the Listen to the Eagle app and you're listening to us live on the smartphone. Always follow us. You can go to listentotheeagle.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Bert Caruth, or go to Facebook and like our page, Listen to the Eagle. Well, Robert, let's talk a little bit about, for our listeners, it's that time of year again. What are some things? I know you mentioned last week you helped, much to probably some of your past mistakes, telling everybody to kind of prepare for what's coming around the corner. Go ahead and start now. Don't wait.
That's right. 27 days till bow season.
27 days.
And look, it's going to get here quick. Don't take anything for granted. I don't use sights on my bows. I shoot traditional, but all of you that shoot the compounds with the high-tech sights, don't take for granted that because everything was in good shape last year, it's going to be in good shape now. Check it out. Check your equipment. Check your climbers.
Oh, no doubt.
Understand, your safety harnesses, everything. Your life depends on that stuff.
Well, to that fact, and we've talked about on this show, look, guys, it's not worth just assuming that it's still good because it worked last year. It's not worth not using your harness and strapping in. Yeah. It's just not worth it, because every year we have to hear about somebody that has fallen and sometimes fatal. Yeah. All because they just took for granted. I've been doing it for 30 years. Yeah. Well, all it takes is one time.
That's right. And it doesn't take long to get hurt or killed.
No, sir.
And you can't hit rewind and go back and do it over. Once it's done, it's done. And then when you get hurt, you're sitting there thinking, well, I wish I had done this. If I'd have done that, if I'd have done, it's too late for if I'd have.
Right. Just do it. Go ahead now. Start taking inventory of everything. Yeah. Like you said.
Yeah. And then gun season follows not far behind. Yeah. And the same thing with gun season. You've got a rifle. Get out there and make sure that scope is still zeroed.
Yes, sir.
Don't take for granted that because you were able to drive nails a year ago that it's going to be dead on now. Get out there and shoot the rifle. It doesn't take long. and make sure you know where that thing's shooting. Be ready. It pays to check the equipment, to know that everything's in good working order, because even if we're not talking about safety and the possibility of getting hurt, just something like your gun, it could cost you a deer. It could cost you a really nice one.
Believe me, I've seen me do it.
Yeah, because when Mr. Big walks out, you sure don't want anything to go wrong then.
No, and it's very frustrating. I want to recap tonight. First of all, Robert Daley, I want to thank you for being in studio as always.
Thank you for letting me come. I've enjoyed it.
I know you've got a date that hopefully we can circle and get you back in here.
Yeah.
I want to thank Buddy Money for being a part of Listen to the Eagle, and hopefully he shed some light and maybe even educated you a little bit about Lyme disease. And if you didn't get all the info that you needed from that interview, please Google it or ask your doctor about Lyme disease, because if you're in the outdoors, especially with deer season coming up, and you're around ticks, it's not worth thinking that it's something else. Ask your doctor about Lyme disease, especially if you start feeling flu or have a rash. Again, I thank Buddy. Thank you for making us a part of your night. If you don't remember anything else about the show, remember this. If you do things your way, you'll get your results. Some good, some bad. If you'll stop and pray, you'll get his results.